The thing I'm wondering the most about is the deals that Jim Crane and Jeff Bagwell gave to both Rafael Montero and Jose Abreu this offseason. Let's start with the Rafael Montero deal. 3 years, $34.5 million. He's got a 5.27 ERA in 13 and 2/3 innings pitched this year. He's made 15 innings. Can you guess how much this $10+ million per year pitcher, can you guess how many times he has gone through an inning with a perfect sheet? No hits, no walks. Sean Mapes, I'm putting you up first.
15 innings?
He's pitched 15 times, not 15 innings, 13 and 2/3.
Okay, 15 times.
How many times has he pitched and not given up a hit and not walked anybody?
I'll go 6.
3. 3 of his 15 appearances have been clean. 3. And look, we're not expecting Montero to go out there every single time and be dominant, right? But you are paying him like he is capable of that. And as somebody who watched this guy in Seattle, that's never going to be the case with him. And I get it. He had a nice year last year. I'm happy for him that he got rewarded for it. But I'm not happy with the Astros for giving that deal out because they didn't need to give him that deal. And they did. And I got into a back and forth with Jeremy Branham, who for some reason decided to double down on the Rafael Montero deal after Saturday. And I get it. Montero had some bad luck on Saturday. There were a couple of infield moments. There was a collision at second base between Dubon and Jeremy Pena that started the rally. Then all of a sudden you have an infield single by Teoscar Hernandez. There's 2 guys on. I think there was a walk as well, so the bases are loaded. Then J.P. Crawford, though, hits a 3-run double. The double still happened. The moments before that were unlucky don't make that double go away, disappear. And every single time Montero's on the hill, he gives you anxiety. I'm not saying that there's not been a reliever in the history of baseball who has been anxiety-free, not giving a team that feeling, not giving a fan base that feeling for an entire year. But you're paying the guy a lot of money, and he's not living up to the contract. That's simple. And you didn't need to give him that contract, and I don't know why they did give him that contract. Just doesn't make any sense. Relievers are so volatile year to year. Let's give Rafael Montero, who's had one good season in his career, a big-time contract for the next 3 years. So that's one contract. And then you got Jose Abreu. And I'm trying to be patient. 3 years, $58.5 million. He's hitting .224. He's got a .273 on-base percentage, so he's not even really drawing walks that much, and a .534 OPS. Yikes! Going into the weekend, over 21 games, he was slashing 191, 218, 226. Jesus! That's terrible. Did you know that there's only one qualified hitter in baseball with a lower slugging percentage, and this guy's making almost $20 million a year? Oh, to make matters worse, he had a 2-out error yesterday. He grounded into a double play in the 9th. At least he had a double. But these are the 2 deals that were made by not James Click, not Dana Brown. These are the Jim Crane, Jeff Bagwell contracts. Neither of them make you feel good. The Abreu one made sense, unless you took a look at the contact numbers and how hard he was hitting the ball. The Montero one, you can't explain that one to me. And I feel like Jeremy, who's going to be up next on the Killer Bees, has been pounding the drum for Rafael Montero. Is it a bit? Like, I don't get it. I saw that tweet pop up on my timeline yesterday. I just responded with a no, and it turned into a back and forth. And it ended with him calling, I think implying I'm a casual. I am a baseball casual, but this baseball casual knows that that guy is not someone that you should ever trust, ever. Because I watched him in Seattle. I know what he is. I mean, I remember when the trade happened, and the Astros, I think, sent Ken Giles to Seattle as part of that deal. I forget. No, hang on. Ken Giles went to Seattle, and people in Seattle were trying to say the same thing. And I was like, dude, I've seen this guy pitch. Like, just stop. Just stop. This was a part of the Kendall Graveman trade. That's how they got Montero in Houston. Montero's not good. I get it. He had good numbers last year. I've seen him in Seattle. I don't think he's any different. I really don't. He does throw nasty stuff, but it always feels like there's at least one person on. And this year, in 12 of the 15 appearances, he has had somebody on base via a hit. 12 appearances like that. His whip is 1.683. Is that terrible? For a guy that you're paying $10+ million a year, yeah, it is. It is. Those two contracts aren't killing you. They're just bad. And I am looking for any defense of it. If you can find it, please have at it. I don't think that's the reason that they lost over the weekend, but they certainly were factors. And Montero definitely had some bad luck on Saturday, but are we going to say that there was bad luck in every single one of the other appearances that he had this year? Come on. Paul Galancho, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, 713-780-3776. Aziz Versace Z says, I can't believe I'm supporting Jeremy in an argument. He's not the same Seattle guy. I watched him pitch there. He is the same human being. Why would you trust him? Oh, but I watched last year. Okay, I saw him in Seattle. I've seen what this guy is before. He had one great season, even though he did give you a little bit of anxiety in the playoffs too, with some of the same stuff. The thing with Montero is it's never easy. Don't you want easy out of a reliever that you're paying $10+ million a year? So that's simple. And I know the baseball hardcores are going to come out and throw numbers at me about what this guy is. Yes, cool. Do you feel safe? Do you feel safe with him out there? It's one of those things where, Jeremy's a father now. Like, is Jeremy going to see if in the future, if Jeremy has a babysitter or something like that, and the babysitter, there's one incident every single time. There's one hit every single time. Are you going to keep the babysitter employed? Oh, we got through the night. It was fine. There was one moment. No, you're not. And you're paying this guy $10+ million a year. Come on, guys. We're better than this. We have standards here. 713-780-3776 to call in. To text in as well. You can tweet us at Gallant Says, twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. Thomas is in the Heights. Thomas, what's going on?
What's going on, Paulie? Yeah, it was a rough weekend series for sure. I just wanted to comment on the free agency talk. And, good. I'm coming accustomed, even with the Astros, letting all these players go and stuff. Good organizations, you get the most out of your player, and then you don't pay them, right? Because you don't want to get stuck with a buyout contract in the series that you've used up all the good juju, so to speak. So, in theory, this seemed like it's emotionally you fight with the George Springers and the Garrett Coles and stuff like that. But, this was an easy spot of, you've already established the precedent. Hey, man, thank you for your time. We're not going to pay you that. Go get your contract somewhere else. Thank you. And you have Bobby Abreu to move up. You have Ryan Stanek, who you didn't use in the playoffs for whatever reason. Even you had good moments from Seth Martinez. So in theory, you'd bring him up into more important innings and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that didn't make sense. And the Jose Abreu, I think, is just more of you had to sign someone big, and this was the con. This is what everyone saw coming. So you just got to hope that he can get through that. But yeah, I definitely agree with the Montero signing. Not an ideal moment from that temporary management team, but I'll hang up and listen.
I appreciate the phone call, Thomas. The thing with the Montero contract, I'm not even suggesting you let him walk. I don't think there was a market for him that was that high.
Yeah, at least wait for him to get another offer. Because, like Thomas says, I don't think he was getting this from a different team.
Right.
I think he could have
negotiated
a little bit harder.
Maybe his agent, Sean, played the Astros, Jim Crane, Jeff Bagwell. Again, we don't have an experienced general manager in charge. We don't have a general manager with a background in being a general manager in charge. Maybe Montero's yeah, this is what people are throwing my way. And you know what? Again, if he pulled that off, credit to him. I'm not mad at Montero for this deal. This is all Crane, Bagwell, and the bros that were in charge without a nerd to get things under control.
That'd make me feel even worse. That this is barely even sports business at this point. That would be the agent outsmarting Jim Crane, who's built again enough money to buy a baseball team. that's it, playing him for a fool in a negotiation where he's like, oh no, you should see some of what these other and Jim Crane can't see through that, like of what guys are worth. That makes me feel even worse.
It was a
you'd think that negotiation would be what your owner is good at when it comes to if he has to be a GM.
And it's cool that the owner rewarded a player who played well in a big moment.
Yeah.
But
like Thomas said, you didn't reward Springer, you didn't reward Correa, you didn't reward all these guys that leave, and then this is the guy you reward.